Hello, welcome to Chicken Happy Hour at Cedarwoods Farm. This is not the usual Carl. You can probably tell this is a much smaller chicken. This is Carl G, whom you have met before. Oh, and she is not used to anchoring a show. So Carl is laying an egg and will probably join us presently. It is really hot here in Kentucky, and I'm trying a new thing with lights, so I've got these hot lamps everywhere, so we'll see if it makes any difference. So Carl and I are super excited about a couple of things. Number one, we are excited about the drink we are making today. It's something, well, brand new for me. I've never made one. And then we are also very excited about the eggs hatched. 2 of the 3 pigeon eggs finally late yesterday, hatched. So we're still waiting on the 1 egg, but I think I had misinformation. I had read that they take 14 days to before they hatch, and it's actually 17 to 19. So when I did further research, because I expected them last Wednesday, and was starting to get kind of worried, and then figured out that it actually 17 to 19 is when pigeon eggs hatch. So anyway, and we'll try, we'll go in and try to look at them after we make this drink. We'll see how it goes. The daddy pigeon unfortunately sets on them in the day, and the mom sets on them at night. She's a lot more tame, and she doesn't mind me being in there. The dad's a little more defensive. So we'll see if we can get a look at them. They're cute, but super bald. They're blind. They're actually pretty ugly, but because they're babies, I guess they're cute. All right, so we are going to make a drink called the Godfather. I don't know if you saw last week, there were a couple of different stations that were playing some version of the Godfather. I don't know how many there are, but they played the first one quite a bit, and it was just on all week. So I kept getting just glimpses of it through the week. When I was flipping through the TV, I would see 10 minutes here, 20 minutes here, whatever. And then it was just ironic. I was with my friend Lisa, who is Italian, from Boston, and we were at the liquor store, and she was saying that her favorite drink was called the Godmother. And I was like, well, what in the world? I've never heard of that. And she said it's amaretto and vodka. And then she said there's another one called the Godfather, and I was like, oh, because I have some interesting bit of little trivia from the Godfather that I want to share with you. So, long story short, we are going to make the Godfather this video, and probably the next video we'll do the Godmother. There's also one called the Godchild. There's all different versions of this. So, but we're going to start at the top with the Godfather. And super simple. What I like about this, now this is a very boozy drink. This is a sipper. But it only has 2 alcohols in it. It's got the amaretto that I mentioned, which is an Italian liqueur. It's almond, and so that's going to give a kind of nutty sweetness to the Scotch whiskey, which is your other ingredient. I got us a single malt They're a little more expensive than a blended. A blended just is what it sounds like. It's two different. It's a barrel malt mixed with a wheat, I think. Anyway, it's a mix. Single malt is from one distillery, and it's I guess it's single. It's just the real deal. So those are the two ingredients. You need ice. I read different things. Some things said an orange peel, some said a lemon, some said a cherry. So we are doing all three because we are sitting in a hot barn and feeling fancy. So we're doing it all. Okay. Let's see. What else did I want to say? I say we just go on and mix this sucker up, and then I don't know where everybody is. Some days everybody's here, and other days, like today, they abandoned me completely. So I guess that's the case today. I feel that Carl will come running out here in a minute after she's laid her eggs. She's going to be pissed that I started without her. Okay, so I'm going to put my big cubes. You need an old-fashioned glass, and we'll hope to do this before it all melts. And then I've just got some chipped ice in this. And this calls for 3 ounces of our Scotch whiskey. Oh, that smells nice. That reminds me of something, I guess. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Jergens hand cream because it smells like almonds. That's exactly what it reminds me of. Let's hope it doesn't taste like that. All right, so 3 ounces of the Scotch. So I think for me, just because I'm not a huge, now you know I enjoy my rye whiskey, but I'm not, for the most part, I'm not a huge whiskey or bourbon kind of drinker. Usually I go a little lighter than that. So I think the addition of the amaretto is going to be very helpful. We're going to start with 1 ounce. I read 1, I also read 2. So, whoops. Well, since I spilled half of that. So we're going to start with 1 and go from there. It's better to add, but you can't take away. Now, you don't need to shake this. There's no citrus, there's no egg. This is just alcohol. So you're just going to stir that in your chipped ice. And because we don't want any ice other than our big cubes, we're going to strain this. So the origination of this drink is a little murky. It's assumed because it was so popular, wow, because it was so popular in the 70s, it's assumed that it came from the Godfather movie. In fact, a lot of people say that this was Marlon Brando's favorite drink. He played the main guy, what's his name, Corleone in The Godfather. And so that was in 72, it won an Oscar, and so I can see that because the 70s was all about stiff, sweet drinks. So that's what I read. Okay, I'm a little scared because this is a big old drink. Oh, that is the same chicken that does this every time. I also read that if you have a good single malt, if you're using that for this drink, that you can top this off a little bit, like after you've Again, I'm a little scared. But let's say we do it. That wasn't much, but all right, let's try this, and then I'll tell you the story. You know, that's really good for somebody that's not necessarily a Scotch whiskey kind of drinker. I say, oh yeah, it's got a nutty, spicy, that's good. This would be a really good after dinner drink. I'm gonna put another ½ ounce of the amaretto in. This would be great like on a cold winter night, which I am starting to be ready for. Like after dinner, sitting by the fire, this would be really nice, I think. It would warm you up. I like that. I would not want any more than this. Oh, I forgot the bourbon cherry. My goodness. If you've got it, put it in there, all right? With a little bit of juice. Oh, so pretty. Carl, you're missing it. I usually do videos a little earlier than what I'm doing today. All right, let's try this. That is a fancy looking drink. Yep, I like it. I recommend The Godfather. What's that one quote? So there's a couple quotes. I should have memorized this a little better. Anyway, oh, look how they massacred my boy. Remember that? Don Corleone says that. And then there's another guy that's, I forget his name, but he says, he's talking to Al Pacino. Shh. He's talking to Al Pacino, and he says, why don't you tell the girl Mary how much you love her? Tell her I love you with all of my heart. If I don't see you again soon, I'm gonna die. I just thought that was funny. So, the scene I wanted to share with you, and maybe everybody knows this, but I was a little shocked. So, in my flipping the TV last week, I watched the scene where the guy, his name is Jack Waltz, I think, wakes up. He is a friend, supposedly, of the Corleones, the mobsters, right? But he's done something to make them mad. He's like a Hollywood guy, and they wanted their, I can't remember if it's their grandson, somebody, they want him to give this kid a chance, and he doesn't do it. So he, pisses off the mob. So he wakes up in the scene, he wakes up in this, this opulent golden bed, and he brings a hand out and it's covered with blood, and he's just like, ah. And so he throws the sheet back, and there in the bed with him, like at the foot of the bed, is the severed head of his prized racehorse, right? Because he's made the mob mad. So I was just like, whoa, I didn't remember that scene, and I was just a little shocked, sitting there having breakfast or whatever I was doing. And so, but I noticed, I was like, boy, that looked real, that horse head. So I did a little research because, I like to research. And it, in fact, was a real horse's head. Apparently, Francis Ford Coppola, who was the director, wasn't happy with the fake horse head that they had, and so they found a nearby like a dog food manufacturing place, and got the next, like the horse that was in line, I guess, to be killed. And so they waited to film that scene until the head of this horse arrived on dry ice. So there's a story you can put in your pocket. I just thought that was a little shocking. I don't think that would go over today. Maybe, but I don't think so. So anyway, that's my Godfather story. I'm going to throw the orange at that chicken. Did anybody ever come up? I am just sitting here by myself. It's just happy hour, y'all. There's no chickens. Let's go in and get Carl. All right, I'll try to show you these little babies. Again, if I can do this without turning it off. Yeah, I'll show you where everybody is. I don't know if you can see them, but they're all down there in the shade, or over here in the shade, or over here around the water cooler. So there's one of the Saxon pigeons. That is, oh, that's the girl, because her boy is sitting on eggs. I think I've told you they have a nest up there. So, Carl, are you still laying an egg? Carl, you missed it. You missed the show. Huh. Oh well. All right, let me show you. Now, let me say this. These pigeons are used to me. So I'm not gonna make anybody distraught, but we'll see what we can do. But I just don't want you to think that I'm like disturbing them, because I do this. They know, you know, actually I think that's the girl. Yeah, that's the female, so we may have better luck. Hey, little mama. So I see one of them over here. Hey, can we see? Can we see what you got? Huh? All right. They're just little yellow, they look like sad little chicken nuggets right now. Hey. Yeah. Okay. Well, again, I don't want to make anybody distraught, so that's all we'll do today. Now, I will say, I took a pretty good picture of them this morning. What is your deal? Go on. Aw. Is that what you want? You're a good chicken. All right. Well, it's hard to resist when they do that. I took a close-up picture of the babies this morning because both parents flew off the nest for like 90 seconds, so I ran and got my phone. So that's on my Instagram, Coffee Bean Blues. If you want to check that out, it's not private, so you can just go in and if you want to just look at that one picture, because it is a close-up of the babies. So, but every time we do a cocktail, we'll try to go see them, because they grow really fast. So let me show you these pea chicks, because talk about growing fast. They are starting to look like peacocks or hens. Still can't really tell. I think this first one, that one is a boy, just because he's so much bigger. He's got a long tail. And the other one I think is a girl, but who knows? It's really hard to tell until they get their like their lower pin feathers. It's hard to tell. Oh my gosh, look at this emu. Stretched out like it's dead. It is just so hot. Can you see? Oh, I don't think you can see a thing. Hey, Bob. It is just too hot, ladies. Way too hot, and gentlemen. Yeah, I think definitely I need to video earlier in the day. So when we do the Godmother here in, I don't know, a day or two, we'll do it earlier so everybody's not so sleepy and hot. So thank you for joining. Sorry we didn't get a better look at the pigeon babies, but we will keep trying because they're not going anywhere. So I think it'll get easier as they get bigger. It'll get easier to get them on film. So definitely I recommend this, The Godfather, as well as the movie. Certainly, if you haven't seen it, you need to. It's awesome. It's iconic. I think that's it. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and thank you so much for joining. We'll see you soon.